All right, welcome pen friends. This is Tom with Gold Spot Pens, and I am here today to talk to you about counterfeiting, knockoffs, cheap imitations. It's one of those things where you don't really think that an imitation would exist, especially of pens. It's watches and other things like DVD knockoffs and things like that. You would assume that there exists in different manufacturing levels, but for pens, particularly lower end inexpensive pens, you wouldn't really think of it. But then there's that time that you go to eBay or you go to Amazon and you think that you're getting the genuine article, but then when you receive it, you realize that something is just off. And this video serves to educate you on how to spot a fake, not only in the flesh, but when you're shopping around and you see an unbelievable price on, let's say, a limited edition that's been out for several years and no one else seems to have it in stock, but there's this one seller that has it at a great price and you go for it. And we have done this before with the Safari, but now we're doing this with the Lamy All-Star. It's a thing where you don't really think that people would be knocking off a $37 pen, but the fact is, especially with the limited or special editions with the Safaris or the All-Stars, once they go out of stock, their value shoots up very high. For example, ones that are sold out from like 2011 could be going for $200 plus for the genuine article on eBay. So when all it takes is for some Chinese manufacturer to produce a look-alike for cents on the dollar with labor and everything, it's very enticing to be able to sell it even at just the regular price. The point is we're going to be able to spot a fake All-Star in the flesh by comparing it with a real genuine All-Star. We've brought out the 2018 special edition Vibrant Pink to illustrate the point. And the fake that we bought on eBay was a copper orange All-Star, which has recently gone out of circulation pretty much everywhere. So we're going to kind of not only just look at the actual physical pens themselves, which we have done in the past with the Safari, but we will also talk about how to avoid the unpleasantness of actually purchasing a fake in the first place and what to look out for. And then also we'll just go over on what to do if you actually do have a fake and what your options are as far as like getting some sort of restitution for your issue. For a fake listing, things to look out for. Definitely number one is don't always judge a book by its cover, meaning don't judge a listing by the image, because with the ability to get images anywhere on the internet as far as the factory image, it's very, very easy. I mean, it's just all it takes is a Google image search to find an image of a copper All-Star. So definitely when you see an image listing and it looks perfect to the real thing, it's probably the same manufacturer's image that everyone else got. So definitely don't judge it by that alone. Look up at the marketplace vendor. This is why I'm saying pretty much the marketplace is that usually that's where these things will exist. These counterfeits will exist is on eBay, Amazon, Rakuten, or Buy.com it used to be called, or AliExpress. If you see listings on these websites, you need to research the vendor. Check out their information, go to, like if they have a website, like an actual shop online, go check them out, even see if where they're shipping from. If it's an e-packet from China, that definitely sends up a red flag. You want to make sure you know that you're buying from an authorized Lamy retailer. And to do that, go to Lamy's website, lamy.com, go to find a retailer, and you could actually type in the name of the retailer. So if you typed in Gold Spot Pens, you'd be able to find us. You type in any other retailers that are authorized, you'd be able to find them on their map. But if you type in one of the sellers on eBay or Amazon and it doesn't show up, that's another red flag. One thing you can do a little bit proactively is you could email the seller and ask them for the contact information for the Lamy rep or the distribution that they buy their pens from to corroborate with them. We've had to do that for a number of different reasons with other customers or other vendors and anything like that. We've needed to prove that we're authorized retailers, which we are more than willing to disclose and make sure that everybody knows we're on the up and up about everything, that we get them directly from the genuine authorized retail source. One of the big things about the listing itself to note is the price. Not only is a counterfeit possibly going to be existing on Amazon or one of the other marketplaces, but it will also be a very tempting price. The normal price for a Safari is going to be $37 retail, and you would see if it's going to be an out of stock or discontinued model from years ago. If it's still going to be at that price level, it most likely is just too good to be true. Same thing to be said of an All-Star. If you're going to be looking for one and it's one that's selling on eBay, users are selling it for like, let's say $100 or something like that because it's discontinued. It's selling on a marketplace channel for like, let's say $40 with free shipping. It's just too good to be true. So that's definitely one of the red flags. Not necessarily a key indicator, but definitely something that should raise your awareness that what you might be getting may not be the real deal. Okay, so now we're going to take a close look at both a Lamy All-Star Copper Orange and the new 2018 Vibrant Pink, and see if you could tell which ones we're talking about is the fake and which one's the real. We see the difference in boxes here, and I just wanted to kind of give you a quick disclaimer about some of the things we're going to go over here. Is that don't take necessarily one feature of the pen that you're questioning as the end-all be-all that it is definitely a fake. It's more of an accumulation or a summation of different facts. So it's just like I was talking about before in the first segment. If you see one particular instance of something not looking right, just have that as like one point, you know, and if there's enough points that just make it seem very odd that this doesn't seem right, then it's most likely not a genuine article. So the same deal with this. When I'm going to go over here is these little features that I'm going to point out. Don't necessarily take one item as the critical point of that you're deciding whether it's counterfeit or if it's real, because Lamy does modify their manufacturing just like with any other manufacturer that's been around for years and years. They're going to make slight changes from year to year, and they're going to make slight improvements and slight little adjustments, especially when you're considering little features like the box, finial details, engravings and things like that. They're going to make little changes. So just keep that in mind and we'll be fine. Let's unbox. We have the All-Star in pink. Comes in the cardboard tube with the little cutouts on the side. Has the warranty policy, which has Lamy's information in Germany, which I could open up here, and has its policy, limited warranty policy. Now this one has the updated information regarding the newest Lamy distributor here in the United States, which is their shipping facility is based out of Wall Township in New Jersey, so just, you know, a few miles away from us essentially, and has information regarding the $9.50 fee to send back for warranty repair. That'll be more of a recent development because Universal Luxury Brands just became the distributor. So if you see any other information, like you see that they were information about Filofax USA or Readyform, those were their previous distributors. So that's something to keep in mind if you find information in there contrary to what you've seen here. So you have the All-Star in Vibrant Pink, uncapped here, has the retainer ring and a blue ink cartridge inside. And let's unbox the Copper Orange. So first thing you notice here that's different is it comes with a converter. And also the pen itself is in like a plastic bag, which is not very appealing. Let's throw that off to the side. And take this off here. So this is the copper orange. I believe it was a 2016 or 2015 edition, but I could be wrong. But this is from a few years ago, and it has been completely sold out by now. Not many retailers, I believe, even have any stock left, and if they are, they're selling it at a premium. So as you can see here, no ink cartridge. Even though the retainer ring is on here, the ink cartridge is missing, which kind of doesn't make sense because that retainer ring is essentially put in there to prevent the ink cartridge from piercing, because when you have the ink cartridge in there and the retainer ring's not in there, you screw the barrel shut, it pierces the cartridge. It's kind of the ingenious design that Lamy had implemented in this pen. So the fact that the cartridge is not in there kind of throws up a red flag. You might already have a good idea as far as like which one could be the potential fake and which one is the real deal. Just taking them apart here and to put these boxes to the side. We know that from experience that the Lamy's, Safari's All-Stars, they always come with the blue ink cartridge. They never come with the converter. Next thing is the fact that they do always come with the blue ink cartridges, and it wasn't in the copper orange pen. That's another reason why the retainer ring is on there, is to prevent the ink cartridge from piercing. Let's say if this was meant to have a converter in it, why wouldn't the converter be in the pen to start with, and why would the retainer ring be in there? Because it's not preventing anything from spilling ink out. We're going to take a look at them assembled here, so let's put that together. And we're going to talk about the details of each of these pens. So first thing I could definitely point to as a surefire red flag to be alarmed about is the alignment of the section and the barrel. So when you screw on a genuine All-Star and you tighten that barrel up without the retainer ring, of course, it would puncture the cartridge and ink would start to flow. What would also happen is that the grip areas of the front section would line up parallel to the body of the pen. So the flat facet that's on this end here, and then also too is that there's these little wings that are inside of the barrel, and you can see at the cutouts here that there's these little wings, and when you turn it and it's all the way shut, the wings get out of the way so that you'd be able to see clearly through the window that's here. With a counterfeit or fake, they didn't get down the whole threading aspect. What'll happen is when you close a counterfeit, it won't line up perfectly. And that, to me, as a person who gets a little obsessive compulsive about design, is like infuriating right there. Is you could still see the wing of that section thread apparent in the window. And also is that you'd have the grip is not flush, it's not parallel with the actual facet that's here. So you could just see it just looks all completely unaligned. It's just so infuriating, it really is. All right, so another point to look at is on the barrel here. The Lamy logo on one that is definitely not made by Lamy is kind of sloppily done. It especially towards the top of the lettering, you can kind of see like a little bit of a burr from, I guess, from the whatever was imprinting it or engraving it. It just kind of like leaves a line that's kind of trailing across the top of the letters there. But then again, just like I said in the disclaimer, not like the first thing I jumped to kind of like saying that definitely it's a fake. One of the other major aspects is looking underside here for the nibs. If you're looking at a genuine article, Lamy tests every single nib in their factory, and they will test it with blue ink. So a lot of people will ask us, hey, you sent me a pen that's been inked up already. I see a little bit of trace of ink when I started using it. Fine, that's okay, because Lamy tests the pens beforehand. Every single fountain pen that we get, even the Safaris and All-Stars, get tested with blue ink. And you would see that from when you remove the nib, you would see a little bit of trail of little residue of blue ink on there. And so you would see that the feed is also blue as well. With the knockoff, you would see that the feed hasn't been touched by any ink. It looks smooth black. Another thing to take a look at too is the actual nib itself. The graphic that's on there on a genuine article has a much deeper, sort of impression where it stands out more against the actual stainless steel of the nib. The fake definitely has a much lighter impression, and it's also raised more towards the breather hole, which actually, if you notice, the nib itself on the counterfeit has longer wings, which actually, to bring up another point, is if you try to purchase a replacement nib for a counterfeit pen that wasn't made by Lamy, it will actually be very loose. It would not really stay on the rails tight. Trying to swap them back and forth, you wouldn't really be able to. The genuine one just, almost falls right off. It's very loose. The nib breather hole and the slit on a counterfeit Safari, usually they're misaligned. So this one actually has it slightly off to the left, and definitely, like, it's something that you can notice really only when you come up very close to it. The genuine article, always dead center. I mean, the Germans are precise. They cut that nib straight down the center, and usually does not waver very much. And if they do, they get rid of it at quality control. But the counterfeits, though, will usually have a misalignment of that slit to the breather hole. Now that we took a look at the details, what do you do when you do find out that you've received a counterfeit Lamy All-Star or Lamy Safari? From our experience of what we've heard and seen online as far as reviews are concerned, the counterfeits don't write that well. It's not like, let's say, getting a knockoff pair of shoes where you could still wear shoes and still be somewhat comfortable, or like a bag, let's say, for example, a knockoff Louis Vuitton bag. It still holds things, right? But with a counterfeit fountain pen, especially one that's not made very well and it's got little deformities like the misalignment in the breather hole with the nib slit, it's not going to write very well. And I mean, if you're buying it as a collector's item, especially if you're buying it with some idea that you're going to stash it away and then try to sell it some point later, it's not going to gain any value, because if somebody knows what they're looking for, they're not going to buy it from you. They're going to be like, this is a knockoff. What are you trying to do here? So what I would do personally, and you don't have to do this, I would ask for a refund. Wherever you bought it from, ask for a refund. Be cordial about it. Don't be, shaming, name calling and everything like that. Just be like, look, wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I would just like a refund. These places that are trying to offer these things may not be so willing to give you such a thing. Then you could definitely escalate it to the next level. But that's just me. I would say I could send it back to you. You could send me a label. You could then provide me a refund on my bank account, my credit card, what have you. Then the next step would be definitely, counterfeit sellers do not have any place in the marketplace or online, on retail. They have no place in selling cheap knockoff materials. So I would definitely report the seller to whoever, let's say eBay, Amazon, wherever marketplace that they're selling these items, even if they're selling it on a group page like on FP Geeks or on the Pen Addict Slack forum or on Reddit's pen swap site. Report the seller, let the moderators and let the marketplace know that there is some shady stuff going on and that it definitely needs to be flagged. Then the next thing would be, definitely I would take the opportunity to let some of your friends know as well that you had that experience, but be 100% sure. Don't go spreading misinformation if you're not 100% sure. Don't go looking for just one particular feature about the pen and just saying, oh, this doesn't look right. It's not writing nice. It's writing scratchy or whatever. Oh, this must be a counterfeit. Let me tell everybody that, so-and-so's a counterfeit producer or counterfeit shipper of pens. Please don't do that. If you are 100% sure and you've talked to some of your friends and said, you know what, I have a few friends that have also bought from the same place and have also had the same experience with their Lamy purchases, then yes, let other people know, because it's definitely a service to other people in the fountain pen community to let them know that these pens are not the true genuine article. That being said, I really hope that you guys got a lot of good information from this and that you'll use this to shop safe and shop smart on online or anywhere else that you'll be looking around for Lamy products, and know that Goldspot Pens is definitely an authorized Lamy retailer. We've been that way for well over 10 years now, and we're happy to do business with everybody. When it comes down to authorized retailers, please go to us as a trusted source. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me direct at tom@goldspot.com, or you can leave us a comment below. Let us know how we're doing. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube for more fun videos and more hopefully useful videos for you guys when it comes to your pen shopping experience. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, any other pens that you'd like to see, feel free to please let us know, and we'll be more than glad to shoot some awesome videos for you guys and do some demonstrations or any other helpful how-tos that you could be able to watch. So till next time, stay inky, my friends. Have a good one. Take care.